My hand trembled as I held the phone, listening to my sister's smug voice through the speaker. Thanks for the brilliant idea, sis. I've already got investors lined up. You should be proud. Your invention is finally going somewhere. My name is Olivia Chen, and at 32, I had just discovered my sister Amanda had stolen my life's work. A revolutionary water filtration system I'd spent 3 years developing in my garage. The worst part? She'd found my prototype and research notes while helping me move apartments last month. You can't do this, Amanda, I said, keeping my voice steady despite the rage building inside me. That filtration system is my work. Every design, every test, every failure and success. It's all documented in my research journals. She laughed, the sound sharp and dismissive. Oh please, sketches in a notebook don't mean anything. I've already got the provisional patent application ready to file. Face it, you were never going to do anything with it anyway. You're too afraid to take risks. At least I have the courage to make it happen. I gripped my desk, memories flooding back of all the times Amanda had taken credit for my achievements. In high school, she claimed my science project as her own, winning first place while I stayed silent. In college, she borrowed my research paper for inspiration and somehow ended up submitting an almost identical version to her professor. Every time, our parents brushed it off. Sisters share everything, or don't be so selfish, Olivia. But not this time. This wasn't just another school project. This was my future. I've got meetings with investors all week, Amanda continued, her voice drooping with fake sympathy. Don't worry, I'll make sure the family name shines bright. You can go back to your safe little research job and... I hung up, my hands still shaking but now with determination rather than anger. Walking to my home office, I opened my safe and pulled out a thick manila envelope. Inside was something Amanda didn't know existed, my official patent application, filed 6 months ago when I first caught her snooping around my prototype. I learned from experience that my sister couldn't be trusted. So this time, I'd been prepared. Every test result, every design iteration, every piece of documentation had been properly notarized and filed. I even kept video logs of my development process, all time-stamped and backed up securely. My phone buzzed again. Amanda, no doubt calling to continue gloating. Instead of answering, I emailed my patent attorney. It's happening exactly as we predicted. Time to proceed with phase 2. I smiled, thinking of the shocked look that would soon replace Amanda's smug expression. She thought she was so clever, but she just walked right into a trap 3 years in the making. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about getting even. It's about being 10 steps ahead. The next week unfolded exactly as I'd anticipated. Amanda paraded around town, meeting with potential investors, making grandiose promises about her revolutionary water filtration system. Each time she posted on social media about her breakthrough innovation, I documented it, adding to the steadily growing file my lawyer was building. My parents called, of course. Olivia, why can't you be supportive of your sister? My mother pleaded. She's finally found her passion. You know how much she's struggled to find her path. I sat in my home office, staring at the wall of technical drawings and certification documents I'd accumulated over 3 years of work. Mom, that's my invention. Every single aspect of it. Amanda stole my research, my prototype, everything. Don't be ridiculous, she scoffed. Amanda showed us all her work. She has diagrams, test results, everything. Why would she lie about something like this? I closed my eyes, remembering every time they dismissed my complaints about Amanda's behavior. Every time they told me to be the bigger person while she took credit for my achievements. You'll see soon enough, I said quietly, ending the call. 3 days later, Amanda hosted a big presentation for potential investors at the city's most expensive hotel. She'd invited the entire family, local media, even my old professors from engineering school. The irony wasn't lost on me. She'd gathered all the witnesses I needed in one place. I arrived early, taking a seat in the back row. Amanda spotted me and smirked, probably assuming I was there to watch helplessly as she claimed my work as her own. She had no idea she was about to walk into a carefully laid trap. Ladies and gentlemen, she began, standing proudly next to my prototype. I'm excited to present a breakthrough in water filtration technology. This system, which I've developed over the past year, represents a complete revolution in how we think about water purification. I watched as she clicked through slides that were clearly copied from my research documents, explaining concepts she barely understood. The investors nodded appreciatively, taking notes. My parents beamed with pride from the front row. Then Amanda reached the technical specifications, the part I've been waiting for. As she confidently rattled off numbers and processes, I pressed send on an email I prepared earlier. Exactly 30 seconds later, the hotel's AV system experienced an unexpected technical difficulty. The screen behind Amanda suddenly switched to a different presentation. My original pitch deck from 2 years ago, complete with dated timestamps and my signature on every slide. Amanda faltered, her professional demeanor cracking slightly. There seems to be some technical issue. That's when my patent attorney stood up from the middle row. Actually, Ms. Chen, there's no technical issue. I'm Richard Maxwell, representing the patent holder of this technology, your sister, Olivia Chen. The room went silent. Amanda's face drained of color as Mr. Maxwell continued. We have extensive documentation proving Ms. Olivia Chen's ownership of this intellectual property, including a patent application filed 6 months ago. Additionally, we have evidence of your unauthorized access to and attempted theft of this technology. He gestured to 2 people in suits who had been quietly filming the entire presentation. Representatives from the patent office are here as witnesses. Every claim you've made today about inventing this technology constitutes patent infringement and intellectual property theft. Amanda grabbed the microphone, her voice shrill. This is ridiculous. I developed this system. I have proof. You mean these? I finally spoke up, walking to the front of the room with a stack of papers. Your proof is actually copies of my research journals, the ones you photographed while helping me move. Every page is dated, notarized, and backed up with video documentation of my development process. Would you like me to play some of that footage for your investors? The room erupted in murmurs. Investors began gathering their things, shooting disapproving looks at Amanda. My parents sat frozen, their earlier pride replaced by shocked disbelief. I can explain, Amanda stammered, but it was too late. Mr. Maxwell was already distributing cease and desist orders to the investors, along with evidence packets documenting her attempted theft. I turned to the crowd, my voice clear and professional. I apologize for this disruption. For those still interested in the actual technology, I'll be holding a legitimate presentation next week. My team will contact you with details. As people filed out of the room, Amanda grabbed my arm. How could you do this to me, to your own sister? I gently removed her hand. No, Amanda. The question is, how could you do this to me, again? Did you really think I wouldn't protect my work this time? Our parents approached, their faces a mix of emotions. Dad looked disappointed, but for once, not in me. Mom just looked tired. Amanda, is this true? She asked quietly. Did you steal your sister's work? But Amanda was already pushing past them, running from the room in tears. She'd always been good at playing the victim when her schemes fell apart. The aftermath of Amanda's failed presentation unfolded like a carefully orchestrated symphony. Within days, my patent was fully approved, and several investors who had initially been approached by Amanda reached out to me directly. The irony wasn't lost on me. My sister's attempt to steal my invention had actually accelerated its path to market. But the personal fallout was harder to navigate. Amanda barricaded herself in her apartment, refusing to speak to anyone. Mom called daily, alternating between apologies and attempts to broker peace. Can't you drop the legal proceedings? She pleaded one evening. She's your sister, Olivia. She's suffering. I sat in my newly rented lab space, surrounded by improved prototypes of my filtration system. Mom, actions have consequences. Amanda needs to learn that she can't take what isn't hers. But she's family. Yes, she is, I interrupted, which made her betrayal even worse. How many times have you told me to let it go when she took credit for my work? How often did you dismiss my feelings because that's just how Amanda is? The silence on the other end was telling. Dad, surprisingly, took a different approach. He showed up at my lab one afternoon, looking older than I'd ever seen him. I owe you an apology, he said, examining my latest prototype. We failed you, Olivia. We enabled Amanda's behavior, made excuses for her, and taught her that she could get away with anything. Tears pricked at my eyes, but I kept working, adjusting a valve on the filtration unit. Why was it always my responsibility to keep the peace? Because you were stronger, he admitted. More capable. We took advantage of that, expected you to be the bigger person. It wasn't fair. He picked up one of my technical journals, flipping through pages of calculations and diagrams. This is incredible work, by the way. I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner. 2 weeks after the presentation, Amanda finally reached out through her lawyer. She wanted to negotiate, to find a way to collaborate on the project. My response was simple. She could either sign a legal admission of her attempted theft and agree to cease all claims to my invention, or we could proceed with a full lawsuit. She chose the former, though not without attempting to spin the story one last time on social media. But my documentation was too thorough, my evidence too complete. Her posts only served to make her look more guilty. The real surprise came during a family dinner a month later. Amanda showed up unannounced, looking different, humbled, perhaps. "I've been talking to a therapist," she announced quietly, "about why I do these things. Take what isn't mine. Try to be you instead of finding my own path." I continued eating, not ready to offer forgiveness just yet. "I'm not asking you to trust me again," she continued. "I know I've destroyed that. But I am sorry, Olivia. Truly sorry." Looking at her, I saw something I'd never seen before. Genuine remorse, not just regret at being caught. "Thank you for saying that," I replied carefully. "But you're right, trust has to be earned." 6 months later, my water filtration system launched to significant acclaim. The technology was being implemented in several developing countries, providing clean water to communities that desperately needed it. Every interview, every press release, every demonstration carried my name. Olivia Chen, inventor and engineer. Amanda found her own path eventually, going back to school for environmental science. Sometimes she'd send me articles about water conservation or sustainable technology, not trying to take credit or compete, just sharing information she thought I'd find interesting. Mom and Dad came to every demonstration, every award ceremony. They'd finally learned to celebrate my achievements without trying to share the spotlight with Amanda. It was a different kind of family dynamic, not perfect, but more honest. One evening, as I wrapped up a successful presentation, a young engineering student approached me. "Ms. Chen," she said hesitantly, "I read about what happened with your sister. How did you find the strength to stand up for yourself?" I thought about the years of preparation, the careful documentation, the quiet determination that had led to this moment. "I learned that protecting your work isn't selfish," I told her. "Standing up for yourself isn't wrong. Sometimes the hardest people to stand up to are family. But that doesn't make it any less necessary." Later that night, I added another entry to my project journal, not technical specifications this time, but a simple truth I'd learned through all of this. Success isn't just about creating something innovative. It's about having the courage to protect it, nurture it, and ensure it reaches its full potential, even when that means standing up to the people you love.